Hi everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about our 6.6 notes actually. So going through kind of finishing up our last skills here. So the first video today, not actually going to directly involve any practice problems, just an introduction to the skill. Very, very important that you watch this and understand the concept though, because all of the other videos are going to be based off of what we're doing right now. So in this scenario, we have Mr. R and we have Winnie. And we're looking at each other. So I get home from work, Winnie's looking at me, he wants a treat, I'm looking at him, I want to give him a little scratch on the head because he's a good dog. We're looking at each other. And that's what we're going to be using today, is actually the idea of line of sight. So that's if you're looking at something, whether it's an airplane in the sky or, you know, a small 7-pound, Chihuahua dog on the ground, like Winnie. So in this case, there are two angles that we're going to be able to basically look at from this, and they're called angles of elevation, and angles of depression. So using Winnie's eyes, that's going to be like our lower bound here, imaginary line. We're not actually cutting the top half of Winnie's head off. And then we're going to use my eyes as well. So again, exactly parallel with the ground through Winnie's eyes, and then exactly parallel with the ground through my eyes. And this is going to form something, and you guessed it, it's a triangle. Actually, a couple of triangles here. So make a direct connection, and what we're going to see, again, is a few triangles that form. And if you can't see it, I'll highlight them here. So use the line of sight. Here's one. Use the line of sight. Here's a second triangle. And this is actually a really, really useful skill to know, because using these angles and these measures with all of the things we've just learned about right triangles, we're going to be able to figure out quite a bit of information here. So again, it goes straight down. So in our corners, these are right triangles. Okay, so what is angle of elevation? What is the angle of depression? Well, elevation, think of as up. You're starting from a low point and going to a high point. So Winnie has an angle of elevation right here. And depression, in a very real sense, is going down. So you start from, you're the taller structure, the taller figure, and whatever the angle is that you're looking down from is the angle of depression. Now, a common mistake is to think that the angle of depression is right where I drew that arrow. That is not the angle of depression. It is a complement of the angle of depression. The two of them do add up to 90 degrees, but the angle of depression is the furthest one on top. Same thing here. This one is not the angle of elevation. It is a complement, but again, the angle of elevation is the one that is furthest on the ground. So depression is furthest up, going down, and then elevation, you start from the ground, and it's the furthest one on the bottom that goes up. A lot of different scenarios that you can think of. I'm happy to draw many more artwork examples for this. A very common one that they use in practice problems is like, you are standing and looking at an airplane in the sky. And this is going to be embarrassing, but I'm willing to do this for you. Just know that. So here's our airplane. That's not too bad. That's pretty bad. But all right. So anyways, your eyes meeting the airplane. And again, we draw these parallel lines. We make our triangles. And again, always good to use some color coding to outline the two triangles that are made. And then again, we can label that. So depression is going down, so that's our angle of depression. Elevation is going up, that's our angle of elevation. And again, these are right triangles. So using these properties today, that's kind of our vocab words. So again, looking up, looking down, beautiful artwork. Happy to autograph it. You'll probably make some money off that someday. I'm definitely going to be famous with these math drawings. All right, everybody, so let's get ready for those next videos, and let's start solving some practice problems using, again, the angle of elevation and the angle of depression.